Your planet is now marked for death.
Marvel Studios' The Fantastic Four: First Steps is now streaming on Disney+.
We will protect you.
As a family.
Light him up, Johnny!
Marvel's first family is certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes.
That is fantastic.
And critics say it's one of the best superhero movies of all time.
Oh!
Marvel Studios' The Fantastic Four: First Steps, now streaming on Disney+. Rated PG-13.
What time is it, Ben? It's clobber time!
This is a Rogue Media Network production.
Stars at night are big and bright, deep in the heart of Texas. The prairie skies are wide and high, deep in the heart of Texas. Deep in the heart of Texas.
Well, there we are. Hello.
There we go. Hello.
Welcome to King of the Hill podcast. I'm Mike.
And I'm Rusty.
Rusty, how was your week?
It was all right.
Good.
And you? How's everything going with you?
It was fine. Like I told them, my mom passed on Tuesday, but we've gotten everything together, and she was sick for a very long time, and so it's a relief to everybody, honestly, and especially to her. So, and like I told them, if you believe in such, she's seeing her brother and her mother and her father and all that stuff.
Right,
so
absolutely,
yeah. So it's always good. We'll have a little.
It wasn't as negative an experience as it could have been.
I was honestly worried about my dad for the most part.
Yeah.
But he looks like he's doing fine. So he's already picked out a newer, smaller spot to live in out there, and he wants to be around all his friends and all that stuff. So I mean, it's great.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah. My mom would be very happy for him, so that's good. But anyway, we'll have a little thing tomorrow night, and then we'll be done. I put together. I will tell you this though, that I've held it together pretty good, because honestly, 15, 16 years ago, my mom kind of died anyway, because she was put in that wheelchair, couldn't speak, couldn't really move, and things like that.
Yeah.
Entirely different person I was dealing with than the mom I grew up with. But
I can understand the relief thing. Not the same as yours, but I had a cousin that recently passed away. That was died in prison, locked up for 35 plus years at at a young age. So my cousin would have never seen the light of day outside of a jail cell ever again.
Amazing.
So it was kind of like a relief for of his mom and everything. It was kind of sad for his mom, but she was kind of like, he would have never been free. So there's kind of a sense of freedom in that relief.
Yeah, no, I get that. It's weird
about him anymore.
It is weird where we find comfort sometimes, but that's
no, absolutely. But you got to find it where you can get it.
That's exactly right. Yeah, no, we'll do a thing tomorrow night and then we'll be done. But I was saying, like, I hadn't really broken down or anything, and I was putting together the dumb tribute video yesterday for her service, and I was like, shit, here it goes, and so I mean, because I see her with the kids and all that kind of stuff, and
the tribute videos get you. Yeah, you start seeing pictures of yourself when you were younger, and you're like, oh damn, I used to be young.
Yeah, I used to be young, used to be skinny, used to be everything. All right, here we go. We are at season 8, episode 15.
We're in the mix of it. Yeah, we're in the mix.
I want you to say the title of this.
Oh, the title is Après le Deluge.
Okay, there you go. Nice job. Good job. I think it means Hank and the Big Flood, right?
Yeah, it would mean after Hank the flood. Après means after, and then le Deluge is the flood. So it'd be like, but it's a reference to towards the end of his reign, King Louis the 15th was quoted as saying uh, that après moi de la déluge. So it said, after me, the flood, which pretty much means I don't care what happens after me.
Yeah.
That's what the king was saying. It's like, yeah, I don't care what happens after me.
Okay. Okay. That's great. That's way more than I asked for, and that's wonderful. I
Yeah,
love
what
that.
it is, it's an expression used when someone doesn't care about the consequences of their actions, is what it is.
Mm.
It's like a sign of irresponsibility, if you will.
So that applies to our government currently, is that what you're saying?
That that not just our government, but probably a
All
few other
governments,
world
yeah.
governments too. I will tip my hat to the European governments
Yeah.
that have chosen that
Finland.
have chosen to excommunicate people that were involved in that list.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, if you were on that list, get out.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is like they
I
forced,
agree, baby D. Thank you.
there's never been ever in the history of the royal family to have somebody in the modern era to have somebody completely excommunicated for their actions and
Yeah.
their royal title stripped of them. So that's kind of like an unprecedented thing. So, maybe we should do the same thing. Yeah, I don't know.
We absolutely should. We absolutely should. We should rip
At the very least,
the Band-Aid off.
excommunicate them. Honestly, I think that they should hang them all outside of Lincoln Memorial, but that's just me. That's a little drastic.
I'm okay with a good like Escape from New York type plan. We pick one place and we section it off and just put them all there.
Yeah, just like that.
Why can't we use that island? Let's use Epstein Island. Well,
Hey, there
let's
you
just make
go.
it a
Put
prison.
them all on the. Hey, they wanted to be on the island so
That's what
damn
I'm
bad.
saying.
Let's just put them all on the island.
Make it a prison. Make it a prison.
Yeah.
All right. So this is season 8, episode 15, or in the year of our Lord 8 ABE08. Originally aired March 21st, 2004. Arlen is hit with rains and flash floods. Bill finds himself put in charge of the shelter at Tom Landry Middle School and instantly becomes mad with power and authority.
Yep. He gets a little crazy.
We Ghetto Cowboy wants him to actually prosecute. Yep, I agree. All right, so we start in the alley with all 4 guys, and it is raining hard. They all have
It is coming down, yeah.
Yeah, they've all got umbrellas. They got their little transistor radio out there listening to see what's going to happen. Radio announcer comes on and says a stagnant low pressure through a trough will produce a 4th straight day of rain. And Bill says, any of you guys have that thing where you wake up in the morning and see the rain and cry? Bill can say the most with saying the least. I mean, he's just.
Oh, absolutely.
Dale said, cheer up, Bill. You'll be dead soon. Looks like the end of days is upon us. And then we hear the alarm start to beep over the radio, and it's like the tornado warning, flood warning kind of beep. Yeah. He goes, see? And then Hank says, hold on. I think we're going from flood watch to flood warning. Then the radio comes back on. Water levels at the upper Brazos River are rising dangerously, causing flood warnings to be issued for all low-lying areas, including Heimlich and Travis counties.
Okay,
Hank,
this is what I want to talk about again here. So this right here kind of gives us a little bit of an idea again when we start talking about location of where the city of Arlen actually is. So for those of you that don't know, Brazos River is a big river in Texas. It's actually I want to say it's one of the longest rivers inside of one state. I'm not a I don't want to say that and be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's one of the longest rivers in one state. It flows for like 840 miles, which, to give you an example of 840 miles, guys, that's from where we're at here in Waco to Denver is about 840 miles. So it starts in the river starts up by Abilene area where it starts at, and it works its way down into Brazoria County, which is down on the coast, and it dumps out down into the Gulf of Mexico. But the Bosque River is a bit, the Brazos River is a big river for us where we live. So where we live, we've got the Brazos River, but there's also a bunch of other like smaller rivers that are in this area. You've got like the Bosque, the Leon, the Lampasas, the Navasota, the San Gabriel, and everything, and then the Paluxy. Those are all within like 100 miles of us, but those are all like tributaries of it. And the lake in our town is the dammed up Brazos River that makes up the major water source for our city. So to give you an idea of that, that's just like a geographical thing that I wanted to touch on. So again, Arlen is in Central Texas, and this right here shows that it's in Central Texas because it Brazos River flows. It starts in North Texas and it flows to Southeast Texas, but the major part of what the Brazos affects from Possum Kingdom Lake to Lake Waco, there's Whitney Lake, and these three lakes are the lakes that like affect our water in the area that we live in the most.
Yeah. The thing also that you want to keep in mind is he says Heimlich and Travis counties. Now, Heimlich is not a real county, but Travis is. That's where
Yes.
Austin and those sorts of places are. And so that Travis County, you got to figure if this is the Brazos River Authority or whoever coming on the radio saying this, then it means that these counties are probably touching, right? So they're right around each other. So that means we're zeroing in here on the location because
Yeah,
of
funny enough, I don't think the Brazos River actually flows through Travis County when I
Oh,
think
really?
about it, is what's kind of funny. Yeah, I
Huh.
don't think the Brazos River touches Travis County because they
Huh.
have the Colorado River that runs through there too, which is
Okay.
not to be confused with the upper and lower Colorado rivers of the Southwest. But yeah, I don't think that I'm trying to think. I don't think that it actually runs through Travis County, which is kind of funny because, yeah, no, it doesn't run through Travis County. So, the Brazos River, it actually there's three forks that it starts: a Salt Fork, Double Mountain Fork, and Clear Fork that all run in to make the Brazos River, and none of them are in Travis County or go through Travis County, but the Colorado River does, which is another really really long river inside of Texas that starts out west and works its way all the way obviously to the uh coast. But
Right.
yeah,
Right. Yeah,
but it's
Brazos
funny
River
that
runs
they mention
directly
that.
through our city here. So it's kind
Yeah.
of cool, honestly. Okay.
Yeah, actually
Hey,
the cool thing too, I just want to touch on it real fast. The Brazos River, back in the day, Texas wanted to use the Brazos River sort of since it was so big and it went through so many different places. They wanted to use it kind of like Mississippi was used as a thoroughfare for business from the coast up the river. Well, they had tried to put in these locks every so often on the Brazos River, and they did the same with the Trinity River too. They were gonna try to
right,
get boats all the way up into Dallas Fort Worth through the
right,
Trinity
sure.
River, and there's actually locks you could go see for that for on that river. But on the Brazos River, the river was so wild and the way it flowed and how it moved when it was undammed that they would try to go down the river and sometimes it'd be too low or too high. There was actually an attempt to leave from Waco to go down to the coast from Waco on a paddle boat. They got to about Hearn and the water level went down and they got stuck on a berm and they abandoned the attempt, but they had tried to make that river like I said, a thoroughfare for business. And we used to have a lot of flooding here where we live at. Really, really,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
been some like historic, really, really bad floods before they dammed the river up. So the river itself used to flood fairly often. And where we live at, Waco sits on a fault line, so half of the city is kind of up while the other half is kind of low. So on the low side, obviously, is where it would flood, and obviously that's the poor minority side of town that would flood really, really bad.
Yeah, yeah. The Brazos River plays a huge part, and it also did for the Indians that were here before. It was a huge way to feed and to be fed. And I mean, when you think about that kind of stuff, those rivers like that are always the main artery for any population like that.
A lot of dairies on that river.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so Hank hears this over the radio and he goes, okay, evacuation plan A, everyone. I want an orderly, efficient egress to the shelter at Tom Landry Middle School. He goes and gets busy. We hear kind of a laugh come out, and because they all start to like get busy, and Bill and Boomhauer do that kind of dance like where you're stuck in the door, and nobody knows which way to go, right or left or whatever.
Yeah.
And then Dale finally is just like, out of my way, Boomhauer. And then you see the cooler just float away down the alley. All right, so now we're in Dale's basement, and Dale is talking to his favorite turtle. Do you remember the turtle's name?
No, I don't remember the turtle.
I don't either.
I wish I did.
Yeah. He's talking to his favorite turtle. Let's see. Boomhauer gets his harmonica belt. For some reason, he's got a like John Popper harmonica belt and a collection of harmonicas. So he goes and saves those. Bill is in his dress uniform and basically lays down on the bed just to die. But Dale is talking to his purple and says, find land, plant this. And he gives the turtle a cigarette, says, I will meet you at the rendezvous. And then he just like opens the basement window and floats the turtle down the thing. Plant a cigarette. Okay. We're now in the Hill kitchen. There's a duck quacking outside. We can hear a duck quacking. And Luann looks out the window and says, did Uncle Hank order a duck? Because there's one in the mailbox. Which I think is just a great, stupid throwaway joke. I mean, it means nothing, but it's just funny, In comes Bobby. The flood's coming. Why are y'all just standing around? We got to get to the shelter. And then he looks at one of his stuffed animals that he's carrying, and he goes, we'll be safe there. Hank says, Bobby, I need you to calm down. I'm Red Cross certified to be the shelter leader, and I promise you everything's going to be okay. Now go pack one suitcase and no stuffed animals. And he looks at him. Okay, one stuffed animal, but not the bunny. I don't know why he didn't want him the bunny.
No, you don't want the bunny. Let him drown.
Hank is in a slicker, by the way, and he goes in and looks in the cabinet, and there is a emergency supply kit there, but this one is labeled specifically flood. So I can't imagine how many of these kits they have, and they're all labeled like one's fire, one's flood, one's kidnapping, or whatever,
Kidnapping, yeah.
But he's ready to go. All right. Hank says, they say the big problems in the shelter is people often get shelter shock, where they become dependent and childlike. We don't have a lot of room.
How long do they think they're going to be locked up there?
I don't know. It's
how
raining.
Long are they they're acting like the world's ending?
It's like,
we did have some tragic floods in Texas here recently, though. So
we did.
It could be kind of serious.
That's true. He said when people get shelter shock because they become dependent and childlike. He goes, we don't have a lot of room for that with Bobby, which I thought was great also. Peggy, don't worry, Hank, Bobby will not go baby on my watch. I'll put pepper on his thumbs just in case. Well, in case of what? He's sucking his thumb? That's not going to help anything. He goes, okay, now I got to do a final sweep of the neighborhood and then get the pets to a kennel on higher ground. I'm counting on you and Luann to wrap everything up here and get to the shelter. Then we hear, he leaves. We hear the thunder rumble real loud and lightning. And Luann says, it's like God took our picture before he kills us. Which that's fantastic also.
That is fantastic.
All right. So Peggy moves her away from the window. Go. All right, now we are from outside of Bill's room. We hear Hank hollering for him. He says, "Come on, Bill, time to go." He finally busts into the room where Bill is, and he's like laying prone on his bed, just like waiting to die. And he says, "What in the hell? Dang it! As shelter leader, one of my duties is to keep you from drowning." He goes, "Well, maybe I'll float." He goes, "Bill, get up and let Peggy take you to the shelter. That's an order. If you say so." And then he just kind of leads him out. And he goes, "Now, Peggy's a little stressed out, so don't stare at her while she drives." I love those little callbacks like that. Don't stare at her while she drives. And it's only because he's just obsessed with her. All right. Now we're at All Creatures Big and Small Pet Boarding. where Hank is dropping off the animals. He says, "Remember, Ladybird and the other dogs will be looking at you for leadership. Be strong." So he's talking to his dog and telling her how to be a leader.
That's funny.
Now he's
Be a
driving.
leader, dog.
He's driving along and he sees a car literally float by. And he says, "Dang it, I need to find higher ground." So he's got to drive around and try to find another way to the place. We're at the Tom Landry Middle School gym. People are there for cover. They're there to get out of the rain in case it floods, whatever. Khan and his family walk in. Khan says, "Look, man, chaos already ruling. That's like when the city of Luau Prabang fell and we snagged sweet diplomatic license plates."
Yeah, so I looked up that city name. So
Yeah.
that city is actually the capital of Luang Prabang province in North
Okay.
Central Laos. It actually means Royal Buddha Image. That's what
Royal
the
Buddha
name of
Image.
that's what the name of the city is. It's actually a UNESCO World Heritage site. Uh, so for those of you who don't know, a UNESCO World Heritage Site is there's an organization called UNESCO, which is the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization. It's a special agency inside of the United Nations that promotes world peace and stuff like that through international cooperation in
Stuff like that.
education, arts, sciences, and culture. It's like a cultural society.
Yeah.
But what they do is they go through and they look for things that they find that are either educational, artistic, scientific, or culturally relevant, that are like historical. So there's a lot of sites and stuff. And what it came out of World War II. During World War II, a lot of those things were lost. A lot of culture, a lot of art, a lot
Oh,
of things
yeah.
were lost. So and coming out of that, they came together and they wanted to obviously stop things from being destroyed that are once it's gone, it's
Yeah.
gone, and
Yeah.
we lose
Sure.
a lot of history for it. So they started doing these sites and calling them UNESCO heritage sites or whatever. So the Luang Bang is a World Heritage. It's recognized because of its traditional Laotian architecture, but it also mixes there's Laotian architecture, traditional architecture mixed with the European colonial buildings, and there's like a bunch of Buddhist temples.
Mm.
So the protected area encompasses 33 of 58 villages. So there's 58 villages in this area, and 33 of them are a part of this UNESCO thing. But it's a pretty big cultural thing historically for them, just due to its location.
Yeah.
It's been through it's been through the ringer as far as like Laotian stuff. So there was a civil war in Laos, and this is why I would think that maybe Khan's family or maybe Khan and them got out, but it's kind of not the right timeline for what I think what Khan's age would be. Khan would have
Mhm.
to be older than Hank for him to
Mm.
have been maybe his family came, not him. But if he
Yeah.
came,
Yeah.
it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense because the Laotian Civil War, because the French tried to recapture Laos because the French had Vietnam, the Indochina, the French Indochina, so they had a lot of Laos, Cambodia, uh, Vietnam. So
Right.
the French had attempted to recapture Laos, and they wanted to retake Luang Prabang and a couple of other cities and stuff like that. And it didn't really work, but then they ended up having a civil war or whatever after that, and that was in the 50s, the mid 50s. So that would be pre-Vietnam. That would be before the Americans got involved in Vietnam and after the French, because the French were involved in Vietnam and Laos and all that before America ever went over there, and then we went over there after them. And so yeah, that's Luang Prabang. That explains
Okay.
it a little bit.
Well, Khan's saying that they waited for it to fall so they could steal some diplomatic license plates.
Yeah,
So there you go.
So maybe Khan might be 10 or 15 years older than Hank.
Maybe. Oh, Ghetto says pretty big Laotian community in central Iowa. Huh. So Min says, "Oh, this is our chance to get prime real estate. But where?" She sees the stage, right? So because we're in a cafetorium, basically.
Yeah.
And Con sees it. He points at it and says, "The heights, run, Connie, blankets." So they run up to the stage and like they're staking their claim on the stage now, right? Because it's above everybody else. So they feel like it's the prime real estate of the cafetorium.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're at their cot in the Tom Landry Middle School gym. It's Peggy and Bobby sitting there. Bobby says, I always thought I'd die in this gym. She says, "Bobby, please stop being so dramatic. Everything will be just fine."
That is dramatic.
It is very dramatic. She goes, "I have 3 socks and no underwear." And then right behind her, you see Bill just walk up and just fall face down into something. It just boom, like he just doesn't care anymore. Yeah, just doesn't care. Okay, so Hank's still driving. We see the road closed signs. We see a sign that says it turns into the Tut Rampy Dam. He pulls up and gets out at the station at the dam. So generally at the dam or these high water bridges and things like that, they'll have a person. Hey, I was in the boxes here. What's up?
What's up, dude?
They'll have a person who lives or works in a little office there that kind of mans the controls and the emergency switches and things like that, right? And so that's what this is for the dam. He gets out and he goes into this little station and the phone's ringing and there's nobody there. He goes, hello, anybody here? Oh my God, the red phone. So the red phone is the one that's ringing, like the emergency phone, right? So he picks it up and you hear a guy on the other end say, "Dang it, Everett, where were you combing your mustache? I need a status report." And so we know that it's not the guy that works there. Hank says, Everett's not here. This is Hank Hill, assistant manager, Strickland Propane. The guy on the phone says, "Everett's gone? All right, listen, this is T. Beck Minzamere with the Upper Brazos River Authority. The storm's knocked out all of our remote sensors, so I'm going to need your help." Hank, number one, Hank is just getting all kinds of titillated out of this.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He's loving it.
The guy on the phone says, or Hank says, "Sir, I have mentally rehearsed many emergency talk through scenarios, so go ahead." The guy says, "Okay, check the monitors. Do you see any damage on the face of the dam?" He looks on the monitors. He goes, "Oh God, I am seeing some hairline cracks." He goes, "Oh, that's okay. They're always there. If they start getting too big, you'll have to open the floodgates." He goes, oh, okay. I could open it up now just to be safe. And the guy's like, no. I mean, no, the rain could still let up. Open the floodgates now and 12 homes and businesses are gone. He goes, "Oh, okay. I won't open the floodgates." He goes, "Now, don't get bullheaded about it. Keep the gate closed too long and the dam could break. All of South Arlen will be destroyed." "Oh, okay. So I'll open the floodgate, but only..." He goes, "No, look, I've got a bass boat stuck in a turbine at the LBJ Dam. You're just going to have to use your best judgment on this." And he hangs up. So now Hank is in charge of the dam that is keeping everyone safe.
That's kind of crazy.
Just happens. He's just okay, so we're back at the gym at Tom Landry Middle School. Bill goes outside to pee, and Boomhauer is playing like a Civil War era medley on his harmonica. But Bill's outside. He's about to start to pee, and a guy rolls up and says, "Fresh cinnamon rolls, courtesy of the Emergency Operations Center. We thought you might be getting hungry." Bill, of course, cinnamon rolls. He goes, "Oh, I could eat."
Oh, yeah, he loves it.
"Oh,
he
nice."
10 of them.
He goes, "You'll make sure these get inside, right?" And he goes, "Nah." And so now he's handed all of these cinnamon rolls to freaking Bill, which is, he doesn't know what he's done. Forgive him, Lord. They do not know what they do. Now we're at the bunkers, or at the bunks with Dale and Joseph. Joseph says, "Dad, are we going to be okay?" He goes, "Okay, Joseph, how does being the best looking kid on earth sound to you? Because that's what you're going to be when I'm done building an ark for you, your mother, and me." So he's going to build an ark. It rained. He's going to build an ark. He shows him a little child's drawing of an ark that he's made.
Yeah.
And then you hear, "Hey, there's food. The Army guys got food for us." As Bill starts to roll in the cinnamon rolls. Person in the shelter says, "That smells delicious." And then the EOC guy says, "Who's in charge here?" They go, "I don't know. I guess the Army guy." And so they point at him, and he says, "Actually, it's supposed to be Hank, but he's not." "Look," says the EOC guy, and that's the emergency response team, right? Says, look, we've got a situation at East Shelter, so you're going to have to hold the fort for a while. Here's your shelter kit. Here's your satellite phone. You need to talk to the emergency ops center. Just hit speed dial #1. Speed dial #1. Beep, beep, beep. Hey, it worked. And so the guy leaves. Bill's in charge now. Bill's in charge of this whole friggin' thing, which is insane. Just because he had a uniform on.
It's been a while.
So he says it works, and then it pans over, and it's Luann and Peggy. Luann says, so until Uncle Hank gets here, Mr. Dotrieve is going to be our leader. And Peggy's like, God help us. Up runs Bobby, says, Mom, can I go play hide and seek with Joseph? She goes, hide and seek? Oh my God, it's happening. Bobby, grow up. Now, here's the school's master key. Go to the teacher's lounge, have some coffee, and bitch about your friends. She hands him the keys, and he goes, okay, and he just runs off. So she doesn't want him turning into a baby. So the best thing she can do is have him go to the teacher's lounge, bitch about his friends, smoke cigarettes, and drink coffee. Perfect, Peggy. You did it. Okay, so now Hank is back in the damn office. He's still there. And we hear the radio come over and say, continued heavy rain with little chance of clearing through the evening. And he's watching the monitors. He goes, good Lord, are these cracks getting bigger? And then he's got his hand on that open, close flood arm, so he can let the dam out if he needs to. And he hears in his head, open the floodgate and a dozen homes and businesses are gone, or the dam breaks and all of South Arlen will be destroyed. Oh God, what do I do? Now we go back to Bill at Tom Landry Middle School as the leader. He goes, I don't know. And then we go back to Hank at the floodgate. He goes, oh God. And then we go back to Bill and he goes, Cherry. And then everybody goes, oh, I love Cherry. Good call, Bill. And so he turns around. He's just got the cherry Kool-Aid container. So
Yeah.
on one hand, we've got Hank measuring the people's lives in his hands, with the open or close. And then on the other hand, you've got Bill making decisions on Kool-Aid. So that'll take us to our first break. We'll take that and we'll be
right back.
You got it. Join the Daily High Club, the premier destination for glass, water pipes, vaporizers, and accessories. Since 2015, we've sold over 1 million quality products and teamed up with legends like Snoop Dogg and Tommy Chong. Ready to elevate your smoking game? Visit dailyhighclub.com for our El Primo subscription box or shop unique pieces today.
Raise the rudders! Raise the sails! Raise the sails!
Captain, an unidentified ship is approaching. Over.
Roger. Wait, is that an Enterprise sales solution?
Reach sales professionals, not professional sailors. With LinkedIn ads, you can target the right people by industry, job title, and more. Start converting your B2B audience today. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started today at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Listening to this podcast? Smart move. Being financially savvy? Smart move. Another smart move? Having State Farm help you create a competitive price when you choose to bundle home and auto. Bundling, just another way to save with the personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Discover the world of luxury sex toys at Luxury Toy X and indulge in the ultimate pleasure experience. For years, we have been dedicated to the belief that sexuality and wellness are essential components of a happy and healthy life. With over 70,000 satisfied customers, we take pride in our ability to provide products that enhance your sexual well-being. Join our community of satisfied customers and unlock a world of pleasure and self-discovery. Visit luxurytoyx.com today.
Apollo Neuro is a new kind of wearable that helps your body recover from stress, that helps you calm down and feel better. You sleep better, and you can get back to being yourself. Learn more at apolloneuro.com.
I'm Hunter, the founder of Hello Cake, and today we're digging into ED meds. The number one thing we hear is that guys are sick of waiting for ED meds to kick in. Traditional ED meds take about an hour to kick in as they have to go through your digestive system. where Hello Cake's ED medication dissolves under your tongue and works in about 15 minutes. That's about 3 times faster than traditional ED medication. Curious about ED meds? Go to hellocake.com.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness, brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious. Find your blend at hempdelicious.com.
Baby girl, were you staring at me? You know that's not convincing, right? Try again. Well, you shouldn't just be staring then. You should taste.
I'd miss your presence, your laughter.
I miss your presence, your laughter, says the commercial.
There we go.
That commercial always creeps me out. I don't understand it. All right, so we are at the Tom Landry Middle School gym. Bill is all decked out as the EOC leader. He has his satellite phone and his hard hat and his vest. And Peggy says, Bill, Hank isn't here. Where is he? I think Bobby's got shelter shock. He's reverting. Where's Hank? Like, she's in full panic mode at this point. He goes, no, Peggy, I'm sure Hank is fine. He's taken on like this role of responsibility, right? Like but for Bill, it's always like he's playing at this thing, and eventually the real Bill will come out. You know, he's just like he's playing.
The pressure will be too much eventually.
Yeah. She goes, he goes, now Peggy, I'm sure Hank is fine. She goes, you are? He goes, yes, I am. He goes, oh, so everything's going to be okay? He goes, that's right. Now, why don't you lay down in bed and I'll get you a nice hot bowl of chicken soup. How does that sound? She's like, well, it does sound nice, but I'll need a spoon. He pulls a spork out of his pocket and he goes, it's also a fork for those nice bits of chicken. And then she lays down on the cot and just kind of goes to sleep with one of Bobby's stuffed animals. And then the phone rings. He picks up. I don't know how he made Peggy just relax. I don't know how that happened, but he did it. He laid her down, covered her up, gave her a stuffed animal. The phone rings. He picks up the phone. Shelter Leader Dotrieve here. I see. So he has to go tell his people something. He goes and stands on a thing and says, people, just been informed that a wall of water from Tut Rampy Dam has destroyed several homes on River Oaks Drive and may have reached the new outlet mall. By the way, Hank did pull the lever to let the dam
Oh,
out.
yeah, he did. Absolutely.
Yeah. The crowd just groans as he's talking to them. They go, we live on River Oaks. And then somebody else says, my father-in-law walks at that mall. Then Hank comes in with his emergency kit. The crowd's kind of murmuring. Peggy sees him, goes, Hank, you're alive. He goes, oh, did everyone who lives below the dam get here okay? Bill says, don't worry, Hank. They're all safe. I saw to that. He goes, oh, thank God. You saw to that? What? He goes, yep, I'm the shelter leader. He said, but I'm supposed to, he goes, I got the phone. He goes, so they made you the leader? Is everyone taking turns? Or, yeah, well, we'll get this all straightened out. I'm just glad I made it here. It was horrible, but at least I was able to save South Arlen. And somebody says, how'd you do that? He goes, well, I opened the floodgate to relieve the pressure on the dam. And somebody says, wait, you opened the floodgate? This woman says, he's the Arlen flooder. And then somebody else is like, you heartless bastard. Like, they turn on him big time, like so quickly. Bill says, all right, people, easy. I'm sure Hank has a good explanation for destroying your homes and outlet malls. Hank says, well, I was authorized by T. Deck Minzmeyer to, she goes, you made that name up. He goes, no, the phone was ringing, the red phone. Oh, and who was on the other end of the phone? Commissioner Gordon. These are just people talking back to him.
Yeah.
Right? They just turned on him completely. He goes, no, listen, I was watching the cracks. They went from hairline cracks to very thick hairline cracks. And then Bill says, Hank, I went to bat for you. Excuse like that makes us both look bad. And then the crowd starts to kind of push in on him. I mean, you know it's an upside down world where Bill is in charge. Bill is the favorite. Hank is the bad guy, and he's now flooded.
that's the problem about being an emergency manager is that sometimes you have to make these crucial decisions that affect people
Yeah, man.
negatively in one spot, but not so bad in the other spot. So in Texas, the way it happens is oddly enough that where the dams are placed is where rich people are. So what happens is the rich people's houses get to be safe, and then they'll flood all the other low-lying areas. In Texas, that's how it happens anyway, and it's generally by design. So a lot of these housing developers, when they buy around lakes and buy around areas that flood, they do buy them in areas that are generally protected. And whenever they do have to flood something, it floods downstream. It doesn't affect the rich areas. That happens in Texas a lot.
It's crazy to me whenever you see these, like, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? You know, where they were like flooding the whole valley just so they could get the hydroelectric dam up and going,
Yeah,
you know, and that
well,
kind of stuff.
a little local history. So our town here flooded a big portion of where people live to create a lake in the 30s, and the actual entire community of Spiegelville is underwater now. The original community. So there's a community here, guys. It doesn't mean anything to anybody that's listening unless you're in the Waco area. But there was our lake flooded a old dirt racetrack. There was an old dirt racetrack. Couple other things. So there's a tire shop that's a local tire shop that does used tires called Tire City. And
Tire
inside of their
City.
tire shop, they have pictures of the old dirt track because the people that own the tire shop have ties to racing and stuff like that throughout the duration of their career being tire guys. And it goes back even into the 30s and 20s and further back than that because they're like some of the original tire people, used tire people in town. And they have pictures of the old dirt track, the dirt racetrack inside of their shop. So yeah, it's kind of cool.
My dad used to race dirt track cars. It was
Oh, cool. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I've got a
Awesome.
bunch of his trophies and stuff.
Oh, that's awesome. While you were a kid, like, did you get to go to him and see him
No, I
race
never
and
got to see
stuff?
it. No, it was
It
usually while he was a
after you.
teenager and then
Ah,
20s,
got
you know,
you.
that kind of thing, before he went into the service.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're with Joseph and Bobby in the halls at Tom Landry Middle School. This is Joseph speaking. I want to make sure I say that so that you don't confuse him with anyone else. You won't confuse him with anyone else. Because he says, hey, let's go to the girls' locker room and stand where naked girls have stood. It's the creepiest fucking thing I've ever heard.
That is creepy.
Where they have stood. Bobby's like, okay, wait, I'm not so sure about my yearbook photo. I think in 10 or 15 years, I might regret wearing that headband. Or maybe I won't. I don't know. Come on. So they go into the yearbook office now. So they're going to go, since he's got the skeleton key to the entire school, they're going to go into the yearbook office and, I don't know, take some pictures or something. All right. We're back with Hank at the with the mob. And he says, I already told you the dam had cracks. They said, every dam has cracks, stupid. They say, you tell him, Everett. Everett's been working the dam for 20 years. We never lost a single home on his watch. This is the guy that was supposed to be at the phone. This is the guy that was supposed to be in that office. And
Yeah,
he's
the guy who abandoned his damn post. That's what I think is funny is they're glorifying him. He's an idiot that lost
I love it here in a second. They look at him and he's just over there combing his mustache, which is what that guy said on the phone. What are you combing your mustache again or something?
Yeah.
He goes, Everett, wait a minute. You're the guy who abandoned his post. He goes, hey, don't make this about Everett. And the whole crowd starts murmuring. Bill says, now come on, people. I've known Hank Hill almost my whole life. And if he was afraid, he goes, I was not afraid. I had a difficult decision to make, but I weighed the choices and I acted. And then Garrett says, in other words, bark, 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 calling him a chicken when he's the one that ran to the damn gym.
Yeah, which is dumb. Yeah, he left. You left, dude. You don't get to make fun of anybody.
He goes, hey, you take that noise back. You don't know anything about this because you take that noise back because you don't know anything about this because you left your post. Garrett says, yeah, well, maybe I'd stayed in my post if we still had an outlet mall. What a bunch of bullshit. He goes, look, in my training to be the shelter leader, he goes, Bill's a shelter leader. We transition over to the yearbook office. The boys are in there taking pictures for the yearbook. And Bobby is the subject of the photo, and he goes, ready? I'm about to make love to the camera. And then Joseph says, man, I never noticed how much you blink. All right, we're back in the gym. Con is on stage. Con says, most desirable address in all of gym is ours. Yes, people admire us, but how do we make them fear us? Min says, the man who controls the phone controls the shelter. Control the man who controls the phone, Con. He goes, oh, understood. So then we go over and we see Bill on the satellite phone. He goes, I see. Beef stroganoff. I will inform my people. Making the tough decisions here, right?
All the tough decisions.
Yeah. He goes up to him and says, isn't that like the president reading a school lunch menu? Surely a man in your position has more global concerns. He goes, well, I could use someone. I'll get the bullhorn. Like he's on it. He's ready to go. Now we're at Hank. He's at the cots and he's taking off his muddy shoes. Bless you. And he says, Bill, he's just kind of talking to himself because Peggy's behind him, but she's asleep. He goes, Bill in charge? I mean, Bill? And then up comes Dale with a bunch of wood in his hands. He says, Hank, do you have any loose floorboards I could scavenge from my Ark's gangplank? Joseph's been looking a little mutinous lately. Oh, by the way, Artie, welcome. Sorry, forgot to say something.
Yeah, welcome, Artie. I forgot to say something too.
Dale, put that stuff back. You're not the boss of me. Bill's the boss of me, and he says my plan is bold and innovative. You see the kids over in the corner, they're like fighting with flashlights and stuff, and then there's like three guys over there just sucking out of juice boxes and talking. And he goes, dang it, someone's got to snap this place into shape. So he runs over there, he takes the flashlights away from the kids, and he says, these are for emergencies. The electricity could go off at any moment. And one of the guys with the juice box comes over and goes, hey, why don't you pick on someone your own size? He goes, okay, and takes his juice box from him. I mean, he doesn't even hesitate. He just takes it right out of his hand.
Not at all, yeah.
He goes, we just had lunch. We're supposed to be rationing our food in case supplies get interrupted. The guy, and then he plays like keep away from the guy with the juice box. Then we hear Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star being played on a keypad. He looks over and Bill's playing that on the megaphone. Like, burp, 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 burp. He goes, dang it, Bill. You can't be monkeying around with the emergency phone. Suppose the EOC is trying to get through with important information. Bill says, I got to tell you, Hank, these guys, those guys think everything's an emergency. Well, yeah, Bill, they're the emergency system. I mean, that's what they do.
Job.
He says, Bill, give me the phone. You can keep the hat and the road flares, but you can't be trusted with our only lifeline to the outside world. They start fighting over the phone. Everybody's watching. He goes, let go, Hank, stop it. You're creating a panic. Con, get your men. He goes, Con has men. And then the bullhorn goes bloop, bloop a couple of times. And the guys come walking up, one of which is Octavio. Octavio. Bill says, take Hank to the cage. He goes, there's a cage? He goes, come on, says Con. He goes, you can't do this. Let go of me. So they've got him, wrapped up, and they're dragging Hank off to a cage. This place went feral real quick.
Yeah, it did. Really fast. It's going left.
And then Bill says, hey, parents, tell your children they can sleep soundly tonight. Shelter leader Dotrieve has locked up the Arlen Flutter. And everybody applauds. So Bill is the big man. Hank is the bad guy. And that takes us to our second ad. So we will be
right back.
There it is.
Instagram teen accounts have automatic protections for what teens see and who can contact them, plus time management tools. And Instagram will continue adding built-in safety features to help create age-appropriate experiences. Learn more about teen accounts and Instagram's ongoing work to protect teens online at instagram.com/teen accounts.
Online reviews say I'm steep, rocky, and a difficult trail. Next time, I'm gonna say, not if you're driving a Toyota truck.
We know what we're made of. Toyota trucks.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farms, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com.
Tervis is all about staying hydrated. Each product is built to last and comes in endless designs to match your personality. Stay refreshed and express yourself with Tervis. Visit tervis.com today and find your perfect tumbler.
Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. Whether at home or on the go, NordVPN ensures your digital freedom. Stay secure. Download NordVPN today at nordvpn.com. That's NORDVPN.com. Looking for tickets to the hottest shows, games, and events? Ticket Liquidator is your one-stop shop for great prices, no hassles, and guaranteed tickets. Since 2003, we've been connecting buyers and sellers, providing access to sold-out events at prices lower than most secondary market options. Whether it's sports, theater, or concerts, our massive nationwide network ensures you get the tickets you want, guaranteed. For the best seats at the biggest events, start with Ticket Liquidator today at ticketliquidator.com. That's TICKETLIQUIDATOR.com. Ticket Liquidator. And we are back. We left with Hank being thrown in a cage, and Bill being the hero for everyone. So we start with Hank exercising in the cage. He for some reason there's an exercise equipment in this cage with him. He goes, "Come on, Hill, got to stay in shape. Give me 3 more good ones." He's just talking to himself. Then we get Con, who is led back there and thrown in the cage. He goes, "I swear, I don't know how all that toilet paper got under my cot." He goes, "God dang it, Bill, what's gotten into you? You're out of control," because Bill's leading Con in. He goes, "Strong leaders always make enemies, and that's why they make strong cages." And he shuts the cage door.
That's kind of funny. I like that quote. That's that's quite dystopian.
That's why they make strong cages. And then Con says, "Cage was my idea. Ironic, huh?" So, all right, now we are back in the shelter. Peggy is sleeping. Bill walks up to her and says, "Okay, lazy bones, time for breakfast." She kind of yawns. She goes, "Where's Hank?" He goes, "Hank went with Con to work up a skit about hygiene." What a terrible lie. She goes, "That sounds like Hank." And she just lays back down. So she's just out of it, right?
Way out of it, yeah.
Now we're back in the cage, and they're both pacing up and down, like, what are they going to do to get out of there? Con says, "Your hillbilly pal is drunk on power for once instead of corn squeezins." Hank says, "I should have taken control the minute I walked in here." "Oh, so you eye on top job?" "No, but I mean, look at us. Don't worry, I support coup, and then maybe you'll give me 5 minutes alone with Sticky Bun Card." He goes, "Look, we need to get out of here, Con. Give me a hand." And now we're at the chow line. So everybody's lined up to get their food. Then we pan over and we see Dale's fantabulous ark that he's made out of a bunch of gym balls and old wood, right? It's just the ricketiest looking thing. And he's standing up on top of it. "So, Nancy, what do you think of my ark? Pretty yar, huh?" She goes, "Oh, yeah, real yar, Shug. Now climb down and get something to eat." It breaks and he falls.
Yeah, yar, by the way, is a commonly used term to refer to a swift or agile boat.
Yar, quite yar. All right, Bill is standing on a milk crate in the middle because he needs to get up on his soapbox and say something. "Okay, attention, people. It seems that we're all out of cinnamon sticky buns." Everybody grumbles. "But the children love them. You said we'd never run out of cinnamon sticky buns." "Well, we had plenty, but Hank ate them." "Well, no, he didn't. But everybody gasped. He's just making him into a bad guy." He goes, "That's right, but don't worry. I have procured enough Carnation Instant Breakfast for everyone." Do you remember Carnation Instant Breakfast?
No, actually, I don't. I never had Carnation Instant Breakfast before.
Carnation Instant Breakfast came in a little pouch that looks like cocoa pouch, right? The pre-made cocoa you buy that you just put in milk or water,
Yeah.
So it's one of those, but it supposedly had all your vitamins and everything in it. You just
I
mix it
got
into a
you.
glass of milk and drink it, and that's supposed to be your whole breakfast.
So it's kind of like Soylent Green.
Kind of, yeah, just not in log
human.
form. Yeah. Okay. So they are trying to rip the cage apart. And what he's done is he's attached part of the gate to this exercise machine, and he's exercising real hard to get it to pull on the gate. And we hear, "Go, you mighty behemoth," because they're trying to get that off. Now we go back over into the yearbook office, and they are taking pictures. They've made up the French club. They've made up the math club. They've made up best looking, rocket club. They're just taking a bunch of pictures and putting them into the yearbook, and you're just making it all up. So Connie walks in and says, "What are you doing? You can't just stick pictures of yourself in the yearbook." Bobby says, "Take it up with the class president." She goes, "Do you know how much trouble you could get into for submitting fraudulent clubs and activities pages? Probably none." Joseph says, "No, but these yearbooks won't come out until we're already graduate, right?" She thinks about it. She goes, "I call prom queen." So they're just good. She's like right in it with them, which I think it's a cool story. I think it could have been better than the Dale on the Ark thing, because the Dale on the Ark thing is literally a throwaway. But you spend a couple more minutes with these two in there taking weird photos or whatever, I think would be fun. All right.
Yeah, sure.
They have gotten out of the cage. Now they're sneaking around under the bleachers. And Khan says, "That's right, Hayseeds. Keep watching your food. You don't want to eat your fingers." Hank says, "Shut up, Khan. Let's get out of here." He starts sneaking, and then he turns around. Boom! There's Bill right there in front of him. He goes, "Thanks for the tip, Khan." He goes, "What?" He goes, "Oh, you showed terrible judgment in trusting me. How can I follow you? Can I have my bullhorn back now?" So Bill hands him his bullhorn. He goes, "Sure, the batteries are dead, but you can wave it around." Khan runs off just like the happiest little kid or something. He goes, Hank, what am I going to do with you? I may just have to break out the dodgeballs and let the crowd have at you." Hank says, "Will you listen to yourself, Bill? You sound like some kind of crazed gym teacher. Is that the kind of leader you want to be?" He goes, "I didn't seek the hard hat. The hat was thrust upon me." Just
That's a little.
It's an insane thing for Bill to say. Also, Hank says, "Fair enough, but dang it, this rain is going to stop sometime, and when it does," he looks at him. Bill kind of has a sheepish look on his face. He goes, "Oh, Bill, did it already stop?" He goes, "Well, I mean, it's still muggy out." He goes, "Bill, you got lucky. The flood ended before we used up all our food and toilet paper, but now it's time for you to do your job. The goal of a shelter leader is to get these people out of the shelter and back to their real lives." He goes,
That's funny. So the rain had stopped and everything, and they're still
they're still in there. Yeah.
That's
Bill
funny.
says, "But my real life sucks." He goes, "Bill, you've done a good job of keeping people happy, mostly by turning them against me, but this is your chance to go out on top. You could be like Ted Williams. Heck, people are still fighting over his frozen head." He gets up.
Ted Williams, for those of you who don't know, he was a baseball legend. He died in 2002, and his body was cryonically frozen by this company called Alcor Life Extension Foundation in Arizona. And it includes severing and completely separately storing his head in what they call a neuro vault. Reports claims from a former employee allege that the head was stored in a container described as a lobster pot. So it was a controversial, high-profile case following a legal dispute. So his children did litigated against it. So I don't know what the
This is
outcome
like Disney.
was, but
Disney's got his head apparently somewhere like that.
yeah, I'm sure he probably does. He was a weird fellow, very, very odd person.
When you think of him and you think about like Howard Hughes and those guys, they all kind of blend together at a certain point, because they were all a little weird like that.
Oh, for
All
sure.
right, Bill gets up to address the crowd. He clears his throat and he says, "Everyone, I have an announcement. But first, I'd like to say it's been an honor leading all of you." Everybody's like, "Oh, we love you." He starts sobbing a little bit. He goes, "When I first," and then they unlock the doors and there's sunshine outside. He goes, "The fun's over." And Dale says, "Wow, the Armageddon is beautiful. It smells so fresh." Everybody's like, "Is it safe? What about upriver?" He goes, you can all go home. Bill finally lets them go home. And then we see Peggy with the stuffed animal, and Bobby runs up and goes, oh, Mr. Trunkers, there you are. Let's go. And takes the elephant, and she just kind of wanders to herself. She's like, his name is Peanuts. Like, she really got to know the elephant, I guess. People are leaving. They're all outside getting out. And Bill looks at Hank and says, they don't need me anymore. Hank says, well, that means you did a good job, Bill. And then a mother and a little kid come up to him, and she goes, go on, CJ, ask the nice man. He goes, could you come talk to my scout troop? The topic is what it takes to be a good leader. And then the woman, he's like, oh, yeah, sure. You know, he's going to talk to the kids. And the woman has a jacket in her hand. She motions to Hank and goes, hey, is this yours? He goes, oh, yeah, thanks. She throws it in the water and goes, flutter. Just walks off. Hank says, it's going to be a beautiful sunset. And this is the thing that gets me is Bill says, yep, it is. You should have seen the rainbow yesterday. So it's been a full day that this thing's been over because it was a rainbow yesterday.
And he's had everybody just trapped inside of there, even though it's been over. He just loved
the power. That's it. And then
I think it would have been funny if they had Dooley going, you caused a flood.
And then after the credits, we hear Bobby say, I'm going to make love to this camera. And that's it, guys. That
would be a good thing. It would be like Bill in a dress saying you should have seen the rainbow yesterday. That would be a funny t-shirt.
That is a good one. But that is season 8, episode 15.
That is it.
That's
like over halfway through the season now.
Isn't that crazy? Thank you all for being here. It's what Peggy had after her accident in season 3. She had the yard. Is that what we're asking? Artie says condolences. Thank you, buddy. They should have had Ted W show up at random. Ghetto Cowboy says yar yar yar. Baby T, that's what Peggy had. And then Artie says Futurama shows people in the future having their heads in jars. Yep.
Yeah, everybody's head's in a jar in Futurama, and I'm pretty sure that trope originally comes from The Simpsons.
Oh yeah, I think you're right with the aliens, right?
No, not the aliens, but I'm pretty sure they have presidents and stuff like that inside. That I think it's a Matt Groening thing, not just a Futurama thing, because I'm pretty sure that The Simpsons did it first, and then obviously Futurama is created by the creator of The Simpsons. So
sure, yeah, you see a lot of crossover.
Oh yeah, Futurama's probably better than The Simpsons, I think.
At this point, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. Remember that we have the shirts up. If you need instructions on how to get to that, look in the comments here. Yeah,
and if you somebody sent a picture of one, I'm pretty sure it was Ghetto Cowboy. Yeah, Ghetto Cowboy sent himself sent a picture to me of him holding up his shirt. So
oh, nice.
Somebody's got them. They're in the wild already.
Oh, that's awesome. Ghetto, thank you so much. Propane Man 9 says kind of crazy Dale didn't sneak out for a smoke and noticed it the day before. That's true. That is very true.
Yeah. Well, he probably didn't sneak out, but he's not the kind of guy to just sneak around. He probably was just smoking cigarettes in the gym.
Yeah, it comes from The Simpsons, from Ted Williams.
So they had a Ted Williams episode. Yeah. So they probably had a Ted Williams episode on The Simpsons. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's it for us this time. Thank you for joining us on a Monday. Appreciate all of your kind words and all of your support.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you for tell them, even though we were off for a week.
Yeah,
we appreciate you guys.
Sorry about that. Had to do it though.
It happens. It happens.
Go ahead and tell them where they can find us.
You can find us at BWAAAKOTH. That's 3 A's.
3 A's, no waiting.
BWAAAKOTH, and you can go to youtube.com/@BWAAAKOTH.
There you go. And with that being said, I think there's only one thing left that needs to be said by Mr. Rusty.
Wimatanye.
I will concur with Wimatanye indeed. We'll see you next time.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.